In some media, on television, the CNI was accused of not having warned about this avalanche, this invasion, unlike anything seen before. Well, gentlemen, we've been telling you for years that this could happen, and also that the Spanish spies, the Spanish intelligence services, have been kicked out of Morocco. But the Moroccan spies haven't been kicked out of Spain. As for why, ask Sanchez or maybe Pegasus. We have on the phone an intelligence agent from our country who is also in charge of those tasks we're talking about, illegal immigration. Jose Maria, what's going on?
Well, what's really happening in Ceuta right now was something that had already been announced, right? Several months in advance. I say this because apparently it's being questioned whether the National Intelligence Center had not foreseen or informed about this new invasion that Ceuta is suffering today. But that's not true. That's not the case. It must be said, and in fact you already announced it exclusively on your program quite a few months ago, that this was going to happen in Ceuta first and then in Melilla. You must have it there in your files too, right? To show it. Well, it's updated as of today. 5 or 6 days ago, about a week ago, it was reported again that this new invasion planned by Morocco would happen in the coming days. So, it's not something that caught us by surprise. Both the Ministry of the Interior and the Ministry of Defense, as well as the Prime Minister's office, were aware of this. And also, let's never forget the other thing. Let's put that aside for now, because in these situations, we also have to involve the head of state. Because this gentleman can no longer be tolerated, we can't accept that no one is held responsible for what's happening in Spain with Morocco. There have already been many extremely risky situations in Spain because Morocco is the biggest enemy we have right now, or rather, the biggest enemy our country has right now. They are blackmailing the Spanish government and its representatives, including the Spanish royal family as well, right? Because they have, in their possession and in their files, many things that they can bring to light. And just imagine the earthquake that could shake Spain if Morocco reveals everything it has, or rather, if it exposes everything it has on Spanish politicians.
You're talking to me. We knew about Pegasus, the infiltration of intelligence services into half the government's mobile phones, especially Marlaska's and Sanchez's phones. But you're also talking to me about possible blackmail of the king.
Well, look, the investigation is ours, as has been reflected in the reports. Well, yes, that's really how it is. And I'm not going to reveal it here because these are state secret reports. The Spanish royal household is also being blackmailed. And this is a reality, gentlemen. Look, if we keep going down the path Spain is on right now, Spain will be destroyed in 3 or 4 years at most. But in every aspect, economic issues, social issues, political issues, it's across the board in Spain. Spain is a mess in every respect. No one is responsible for anything here.
Look, there was a plan here, the Morocco 2030 plan. They talked about taking Ceuta and Melilla peacefully, like the Green March. Is this the beginning of that plan?
Correct. Now today you can see it. They're going after Ceuta. This is something we already warned about. And it's in all the reports, both within the National Intelligence Center and to the politicians and leaders responsible for Spain's state security forces. Everything that Morocco had planned is recorded. In other words, this didn't catch anyone by surprise.
Around what dates did the agency, the Spanish intelligence service you belong to, deliver the first report saying that this could happen?
Well, it's been a few years now, but that report is updated continuously daily every time we receive new information. Because you also know that we were expelled with the approval of the Spanish state, the agents of the National Intelligence Center were expelled from Morocco. In short, Morocco does as it pleases with Spain. And these reports are not just from a few years ago, they are updated practically every day, every time we have information about what is going to happen from Morocco to Spain. In other words, this doesn't surprise the Spanish authorities at all. They know it well. If they don't act, it's because they choose not to. It's because then Morocco is going to blackmail Spain with different issues, which would be such a huge scandal that the post-78 regime would be in total danger. Total.
So what option do we have left? Endure it? Because from what you're telling me, they knew it was going to happen. They haven't sent enough civil guard nor enough personnel. They say the army, but come on, nothing. It's just a game. And they're already telling me about 80,000 people, which is the same as the population of Ceuta, and that they would be entering or have already entered. What can be done? What is the option?
I'm going to tell you something. Let's see, today in Ceuta, already today, but this has been happening for 3 days. This entry, the point is that Morocco had already planned it this way today for a mass entry like the one we're seeing. There aren't even 200 civil guards on duty right now in Ceuta. The civil guard unions, we've already contacted them. They've made it public. National police, exactly the same. That is, everything is planned to enter Ceuta this way and for Morocco to take over Ceuta, which is the function and the purposes it has, how it will also happen in Melilla. And after Melilla, once Melilla has been taken over, the Canary Islands will also be occupied.
It was impossible except for the work you were doing, which was brilliant, to control jihadists, to monitor radical Islamists. How many might have entered through that avalanche, that invasion? This is a matter of national security, isn't it?
Well, look, I'm going to answer you with all the sincerity I can. Look, indeed, that's our job, counterterrorism. Morocco has been releasing prisoners from its jails. In fact, we estimate that there may be about 25,000 or 30,000 individuals that Morocco has released from its prisons. Among them, there are very dangerous criminals, but there are also terrorists who have been released. Do you know where all these individuals are? Or are these people in Spain? They are, gentlemen. They have been placed in Spain by the Moroccan government itself to get rid of them, so that they create a state of insecurity in Spain at the level they intend. Because it's obvious that the crime that has entered Spain comes from Morocco, Algeria, and other African countries. It's causing a serious problem in the daily life and lifestyle of Spaniards. We're referring to everyday Spaniards, the workers who wake up at 6 a.m. to work and take their kids to school, struggling to support their families. These people, these millions of Spaniards, are the ones suffering from these terrible problems we have, which are being caused by the government of Morocco. Ladies and gentlemen, the drug traffickers on the Costa del Sol and in Algeciras are all representatives of the government of Morocco. That is to say, they have their jackals working, distributing drugs in Spain. Why? Because in Morocco, not a single gram of drugs moves without being controlled by that Moroccan government and by the Moroccan royal family. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the reality. This is the situation we have in Spain. Why does the Spanish government or the different Spanish governments put up with this? Because this isn't new. This has been going on since, especially, do you remember March 11, 2004, ladies and gentlemen? Well, this has been going on since that time. Since that time in 2004, and we're talking about quite a few years now, Morocco has been blackmailing Spain. Since that year, a series of situations have been happening with Morocco that are nothing but blackmail, and they have increased their blackmail because they have new information to offer and to reveal, and this is the reality of what's happening in Spain, because this doesn't make any sense, I'm telling you clearly.
For a man like you who has worked in intelligence his whole life to have to witness and endure this situation. These days, we also saw in media outlets like The Objective that people from the CNI were saying they can't take it anymore, that it's the Socialist Party who runs the CNI. Yes, it's terrible. You've considered giving up before, haven't you?
Yes, because I also have a family, I have a life, and this is about fighting against Spain's enemies who are outside and fighting against Spain's enemies who are inside and in this country. And there's no way you can work like this. Furthermore, I can tell you and confirm that the complaint that has surfaced in the media in recent days from people within the institution who also hold positions of responsibility, I can tell you that I confirm it. 60 or at most 70% are CNI agents, which is around 3,000 or more than 3,000, 3,500 people, 3,600, 3,700 signatures. I don't know the exact number. I can tell you that about 60%, 70% are honest people. They are agents who work for Spain, for the Spanish state, and for the Spanish people. Of course, I include myself among them, okay? I can tell you that the rest are put in by political parties to also control the CNI from the inside. These gentlemen don't serve the Spanish people or state. They work for the politicians who appointed them and their party. That can't be tolerated. The leadership of the CNI shouldn't be a politician, man or woman. That's what agents with a well-established track record are for. They should be the ones running this center and putting things in order. Because what's important are the forces, the state security forces, right? The civil guard, the national police. The CNI is even more important because from here, above all, the external risks and dangers to Spain are monitored. And what we can't allow is for a country like Morocco, which is already internationally recognized for drug trafficking and is blackmailing us daily, to become the owner and master of Spain. That it doesn't bring in its drugs, that it doesn't ruin Spain, as it is already doing in many ways and in many aspects. We're even talking about other areas now, like tourism itself, the agricultural and fishing industries, and many other aspects, right? Because there's a group of individuals who are threatened and blackmailed by Morocco, and the rest of the 40-something million Spaniards have to pay for it, gentlemen. This must end in Spain once and for all, but I have to regretfully say publicly that Spain lacks a head of state. And I say it with all the anger in the world. We, the army, those loyal to the Spanish state, the civil guard, and the national police have asked the head of state to intervene. Once and for all, what we'll find in Spain will be terrible. And this man has not turned his back. This man has done the opposite. He continues to support a government, a president, who is destroying our country, and that cannot be accepted or tolerated, and we are not looking for confrontations between Spaniards at all. Nor do we want there to be bloodshed among Spaniards. Please, never, never that. We already suffered that in the Spanish Civil War, and that's not what we want. But we do want Spain to have a state made up of honest people, people who work for the Spanish people. And right now this is not happening, neither politically nor from the leadership of the Spanish state. And I have to say it this way.
Jose Maria, I really appreciate what you have done because I know you are risking disciplinary actions or expulsions. But like you, there is a large majority within the institution who are outraged by what is happening in Ceuta. And above all, for having allowed it when you warned about it again and again over the past years.
I'm not at all clearing the responsibility that others may accuse the National Intelligence Center of for not preventing this kind of situation. No, that's not what I'm here for today in these statements. I'm making a statement, do you see what I'm saying? Warning the Spanish people about the situation we have. It's so terribly dangerous in every aspect. And what's worse, and I repeat it again today from here, remember the next ones will be Melilla and the Canary Islands. Don't forget it as of now.
A big hug, Jose Maria. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Castillón Confidencial by Albert Castillón.